Reverend Bishops, holy people of God. I know all of you have heard before this gospel, and you've always heard the homily that this gospel talks to us that our Christian faith is one about service. Yada, yada, and all that. You've all heard that, right? Is there anyone here who does not know that this gospel talks about service? We all know that? All right, then I'm going to go somewhere else tonight. I want to look at Peter. Now, Peter, just so you know, this is not a good night in the life of Peter. He's going to have it rough. You know, not only has this, but then he has the, well, you're all going to deny me. And Peter says, no, I'm not going to deny you. Not me, not me. And of course he denies and runs off in tears. And, you know, the whole bad night for Peter. But he starts off with this. Jesus comes up. He's washed disciples' feet, washed disciples' feet, washed disciples' feet. He comes up to Peter, and Peter says, you're not going to wash my feet, are you? Now, in my mind, there's a couple of things that might be going on in Peter's mind. First, Peter might be posturing himself in the eyes of Jesus in front of the other disciples. You know, Jesus, they let you wash their feet, but I realize who you are, so you don't have to wash my feet because I respect you because you are the rabbi. So he could have been posturing, trying to look good in front of the other disciples. He also could be very much in tune with proper protocol. And it is not proper for the rabbi, the teacher, to wash the feet of the student. So he may have just been defending the status quo and say, you know, Jesus, this really isn't the way it's supposed to be. But I think another way, and the way that I really like the things going on, is in a sense Peter does realize what's going on. He realized who Jesus is, and says, my God, pun intended, I'm not worthy. You shouldn't be washing my feet. I mean, you are Lord and Master, and I am Peter, and it's just not right. I'm not worthy that you should do this for me. Now, a slight aside. We all know that Peter becomes known as the first pope of the church. He is the visible head. What Peter says goes. Now, with that, have any of you heard that line before? Lord, I am not worthy. Oh, it comes in the very beginning of our tradition as Catholics. So, Peter may have been very much thinking him being pious and being respectful and recognizing the order of the spiritual world says, Lord, I am not worthy that you should minister unto me. And Jesus says to him, and to us, by the way, just in case you're not aware of this, Jesus says, do you not understand that if you don't accept this gift of ministry from me, then you have no part of my inheritance? And when Peter says that, then he goes all in. Lord, not only my feet, my head, my hands, all of me. Do it all. I'm all in with this. Well, we are now coming to the end of the season of Lent. Some people will say it ends tonight. Some people say, well, it kind of continues with, the grand finale. We have been talking this Lent about a process of conversion, of turning away from sin and believing in the good news, about a movement of heart, of mind, and of spirit into the presence of God in a deeper and truer sense. That somehow this Lent, because of the way that we have gone through Lent, we are different. Our relationship with God is different, and our relationship with one another is different. I would like to challenge myself and all of us to these next 3 days of the Triduum to continue that further. To understand what it is that Jesus says about tonight. That we have to change our way of thinking. That we have to be like Peter, who says, Lord, I am not worthy, because in fact we are not, but then to go all in. Now, when we in the Mass have that line of, Lord, I am not worthy, we followed with another phrase, a but phrase. But only say the word, and I shall be healed. Well, first I have a little good news for you. We took the reading this evening from the Gospel of John. If you start at the beginning of the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God." All right, I want to tell you that that word has been said. We have been healed. We are whole. We are not worthy, but we have in fact been healed. And so we are called to enter now fully into this mystery of the Easter Triduum. To enter into fully this night when we are called to understand the gift of service and of giving one's life for one another. The first thing that we have to understand about this evening is that we are being called to die to ourselves. That no longer is this world about me, and it's really not about me and God. It is about me and God and all of God's people. Not those just in this room, and not those who just call them Catholic or Christian, but all of God's holy people. It's about the rich and the poor. It's about the sick and the healthy. It's about those who understand the great mysteries of God and those who have not a clue of what's going on. We are called this evening into union with all of them and in service to all of them. We are called to die to ourselves, to get off our high horses, to understand that even though we might be rabbi and teacher, bishop or priest, sister or layperson, that we are called to understand that all of us equally are children of God. And all of us are called to serve and minister to one another. As we enter more fully into the Triduum, to understand that tomorrow we talk about the fact that not just Jesus Christ died, and not just the fact that Jesus Christ died for our sins, but the fact that by His cross, by His death, our sins are forgiven. That at times is a hard one for Christians, because it's hard for us to accept that fact. Oh, Jesus, I understand that you died for the bishops because they're holy, but I'm not. You don't understand my sin. That's St. Peter trying to be pious. Oh, Lord, you're not going to wash my feet. Oh, Lord, you really don't understand what I did. I really am not worthy to accept your forgiveness. And Jesus said, if you don't accept my forgiveness, then you will have no part of my inheritance. When we enter into the Easter Vigil, to realize that we are called to a new life, to rise again in glory and in splendor, to take on that image of Christ the light, that we are children of the light, that we are called to proclaim with joy the resurrection of Jesus Christ and of our own resurrection, to claim our own salvation. But yet, if we say, but I am a sinner, I don't walk fully in the light, there are times when I am not holy enough to come before the altar and receive, or even holy enough to look up to God. And this is one of the condemnations that Catholics used to get, is that we would pray to the saints rather than God, because we didn't feel that we were worthy to talk directly to Jesus Christ. If we do not accept the gift of the resurrection, then we can have no inheritance with Christ. For 40 days now, you've been preparing to change your mind, your heart, and your spirit. This is where it begins. This is where we start letting all that preparation come into effect. This is the moment now where it's our turn to commit fully. We've been practicing, we've been studying, we've been preparing. Now it is time to commit ourselves to the Easter Triduum, to let that bear fruit. So, a question. This night, this moment, are all of you ready